Okay, this is Jupiter through the houses, and what it does is brings all of the traits of the sign and the house that it rules along with it when it goes through the houses. And all these words that are coming up on the video are traits that you might it's the theme of what Sagittarius and the ninth house and Jupiter, the themes that of the traits for those. Um, that's the house that rules abundance and good fortune and expansion. And Sagittarius is casual and direct and enthusiastic and far-seeing and friendly and gregarious and honest and humorous and idealistic and loyal and outspoken, philosophical, restless, talkative, a traveler, irresponsible, tactless, exaggerating. All those are traits that might be involved with Sagittarius. They're known as the traveler, and so they rule that Sagittarius and Jupiter rule the ninth house, and it's being shown here on the top there. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's motivated and adaptable and mutable, and it rules the house of the higher mind and long distance and foreign travel and connections and formal religion. So any of those themes it takes with it to whatever house it goes to. And right now it's showing the first house. So when Jupiter transits the first house or occupies the first house or rules your first house, if Sagittarius rules your first house, these are the traits that it's going to bring to that house, and it combines with the energy of an Aries and with the planet of Mars, which is Aries ruler. And Aries is a fire sign, and it's motivated and dynamic, and it rules the cardinal house, and it's the house of your self-image. And let me go to the next slide. So Mars rules your energy and your get up and go, and um, Aries is an active, ambitious, assertive, competitive energy, courageous, creative, enthusiastic, extroverted, and individualistic, naive, self-assured, headstrong, impatient, prideful, quick-tempered. Any of those can be affected by Jupiter coming there. Jupiter expands what it touches, so you might have an expanded sense of energy, sense of assertiveness, sense of initiative, sense of self-awareness. So you might because Jupiter and Sagittarius rule philosophy and mentors and long distance matters and foreign matters and formal religion and traveling, those might affect your image, your self-image. You might decide that you want to uh, have some long distance travel that affects your self-image or communications or learning. That it's also the higher mind. It rules the higher mind and professors and higher education. So you might decide that you want to improve your self-image with some higher education, or through long distance correspondence or something, or learn a foreign language or something. And you might be more courageous, and it expands what it touches. Jupiter does. So you might be more courageous in your competitiveness, or your energy, or assertiveness, or uh, more impatient and quick-tempered, or aggressive toward attainment or something. Um, there's always the more positive and the more negative, and it depends on other things that might affect it. But this is a combination between two fire signs. So Sagittarius is a fire sign, and so is Aries, and a lot of energy there. They're motivated, and whew, they a lot of energy. So the next house is the house of Taurus, and it's ruled by Venus, which also rules Libra. And so even though we're looking at the second house of Taurus, some of the themes that Jupiter brings to this house might also affect that other house of partners and marriage, which is Libra's house. And anyway, so we'll focus right now on the second house of Taurus, and that's an earth sign, and it's practical and persevering and fixed, a fixed sign, and it rules the house of your values, your money, and your possessions. And this is the money that you earn through your own efforts, the work of your own hands. And when Jupiter comes there, it would expand your good fortune, and Venus rules good luck. So it's a positive thing. It expands possibly how you earn money, or the money that you earn, or your good luck around obtaining possessions and luxuries and good food, luxuriant food. Also, Taurus rules the voice, so voice talent could be expanded. You could take on a more philosophical view toward how you earn your money. You could use philosophy or religion, or your higher mind or higher education to obtain money through your own efforts. It could also be the use of long distance and foreign communications somehow, that brings you more money through your own efforts. And then we're looking at the third house of Gemini, and Gemini rules the house of communications and the conscious mind, and siblings, and elementary education, communications that are local, phones and computers and so forth. And Gemini is an air sign. It's intellectual and adaptable and mutable, and it's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury also rules another house, just like in that last video, Venus ruled two houses. Well, Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo is your daily habits and routines and work and health. And so it might affect that house, but we'll focus on the third house of communications and siblings and education right now. And so when you're looking, when Jupiter transits that house or occupies it, or Sagittarius rules your third house, then you would have long distance and local communications, because Jupiter rules long distance and foreign communications, and Mercury rules short distance communications. So a lot of communication there might expand everything that with to do with communications, but also with learning and studies. Focus on studies might take on a more expanded role in your life, because Jupiter rules the higher mind and Mercury rules the lower mind, your conscious mind, and learning on an elementary level, where Jupiter rules higher education. So, you might decide to take on more education, uh, more higher education, while Jupiter is in that house. Or it could be that maybe uh, foreign or long distance communications could happen more while it transits that house. Or you might have long distance travel in both of these rule travel. um, the third house rules short distance travel, and the ninth house of Sagittarius and Jupiter rule long distance travel. So you might be doing a lot of short and long distance travel, or have communications short and long, local and long distance, or with foreigners. Just be, or it could be that you want to communicate more about your formal religion, or your theology and philosophy. You might bring up those topics more while Jupiter is in that house, because Jupiter rules formal religion and theology and philosophy and um, expansion in general. So it expands what it touches, and so it might affect that other house of Virgo, which is your daily tasks and so forth. It also the third house rules siblings, so you might have more communications with your siblings about uh, long distance things, or if your sibling lives far away, maybe more communication with them, or while they're traveling, or while you're traveling or something. You might communicate with them more. It expands, it could expand your connection to them. Let's see. Okay, I guess that's enough on that one. And then the next house is the fourth house of home, and also rules your mother. It's ruled by Cancer. It's a water sign, and it's intuitive. It can be psychic. It's a cardinal sign, and that's the fourth house. And it rules your emotions. And Cancers are usually calm and conscientious and domestic and imaginative and introverted and intuitive, can be moody or quiet and protective and prudent and sensitive, sympathetic, empathetic, tenacious. They can get sulky or self-pitying or tearful, or maybe a little unstable, but I mean, that's just one of the traits. Doesn't mean they're that way all the time. It rules the house of emotions and feelings, so all the feelings are ruled by that house. And so when Jupiter comes there, it expands your uh, mood and emotions and feelings regarding long distance matters or travel, and or maybe philosophical matters or religious matters. You might have more emotional connection to any of the matters that Jupiter and Sagittarius rule in that house. Uh, so uh, somehow your long distance and foreign communications could affect your mother or your home life. You could be more philosophical toward your home life, or bring more religion and theological thinking into your home life, and it would affect your home life or your mother, or your, it isn't just your mother, it's your main nurture or the way you nurture. You could have a more religious focus from home, a more formal setting for religious matters at home, while Jupiter uh, transits there. And it can bring good fortune and abundance to you at your home. And then the fifth house is ruled by Leo. It's a fire sign. It's motivated, persevering. It's a fixed sign. It rules the house of entertainment and romance and your ego. It's how you show up. It's how you create your creative side, your romantic side, your the how your personality shows up, how you shine. And so uh, you can it can expand your ego when Jupiter comes there. It can expand how you perceive yourself. You might um, feel more philosophical through your ego somehow, or uh, choose to be more choose to be more or egotistical about your education or your religion or theology, might cause you to expand all of your traits, because Jupiter expands what it touches. So, and a Leo is ambitious, authoritative, competitive, confident, creative, dramatic, dignified, extroverted, honorable, a leader, loves the limelight, it's proud, can be conceited or domineering or excessive. And so Jupiter is going to expand all that, all your ego. It'll expand those things, and could could affect you somehow uh, from long distance matters, or foreign matters, or foreign communication, foreign traveling, foreign long distance traveling could affect your ego somehow, or you could entertain foreigners, or you could entertain in a long distance venue, or uh, maybe you are an entertainer, and or something that you create could affect long distance matters, or uh, you could have long distance communication, or foreigners watching your entertainment, or communicating to you about your entertain the way you entertain, or a romantic connection could be from a foreigner at a long distance, or let's see, yeah, and they're both fire signs, so more energy toward motivation and can be expanded romantic ideas. It's that Leo rules the house of romance, so you might have a lot more romance on your mind, romantic thoughts on your mind. You might have a lot of good fortune around romance or through your entertainment. And then we're looking at the sixth house of Virgo, and it's an earth sign, and it's practical and adaptable and mutable, and it rules the house of work and health and daily habits and pets and your routines and daily tasks, caregiving. And once again, it's ruled by Mercury, and also so that could uh, affect the third house when Jupiter expands it. When Jupiter comes into that house, it can also affect where Mercury also rules that other house of communications. But let's focus on this house, which that brings all these Virgo traits to, I mean, Jupiter will expand the Virgo traits, which are Virgo is an analytical sign. It's dedicated and discriminating and efficient and health conscious and helpful and can be introverted. It's logical and practical and precise and punctual and responsible and sensible and can be fussy or overcritical and worrying. So it would expand those traits. It would expand how you're thinking. You might incorporate more of the Sagittarius traits into your daily routines, like maybe more formal education or formal religion or more philosophical things into your daily routines and daily tasks, and um, uh, also maybe more communicating long distance or with foreign venues or something that involve your health or your work or your daily routines. So it incorporates the two energies, and also communication uh, is ruled by Mercury. Again, both houses rule communication. Uh, the the third house, well, Mercury rules, brings along the energy of Gemini, which rules the short distance communication, and then Jupiter has the long distance communication. So a lot of communications could be foreign, could be local, and more communication would be incorporated into your daily tasks and your health routines and your work, possibly more communications at your work, more maybe foreign and long distance communications about your work, or higher education for your work or something could be happening while Jupiter is transiting that sign, that house. And the next house is the seventh house of Libra, and that one also was one of the ones that has the planet Venus rules both the second house and the seventh house. And now Libra is an air sign. It's intellectual, dynamic, cardinal sign, rules house of partners and marriage, and it is a affable sign. It likes aesthetics, likes everything to be pretty, artistic, balanced, charming. cooperative, extroverted, flirtatious, gracious, idealistic, can be indecisive. They're usually kind and peacemakers, and refined and sociable, can be indecisive and frivolous, and but loves beauty and focus on partnerships, and partners can be any type of partner. That house rules any type of partner, not just your marriage partner. It rules any type of partner. So, and also it might affect the other house, which is your house of money. So when Jupiter comes there, it could bring good fortune in your partnerships, and it could bring abundance in your marriage or your partnerships, through your partnerships. You could form a partnership that's a religious partnership with religious people, or with someone foreign or long distance, through foreign and long distance communications, or somebody philosophical you might form a partnership with, or uh, it could just expand the amount of partners you have in your life. Now, Venus rules females, so Jupiter could bring females uh, more female communications, and also Jupiter rules that house of Sagittarius. The ninth house rules mentors, so you might find a mentor that helps you in matters that helps your partnerships and marriage, and maybe bring real religious and theological and philosophical learning to you through the higher mind, or through higher education somehow, that works with your partnerships and marriage, that uh, the two energies will be working together. And um, Jupiter's a fire sign, and Jupiter rules a fire sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and Venus, uh, Libra, is an air sign, and air feeds fire. So they work well together. And you might, while that the other thing that Venus brings is luxuries and money, and from that other house that it rules. So you might, a lot of expansion on all the good things that life brings, your possessions, or more love, more good feelings toward lucky feelings and fortunate feelings. Sagittarius is a jubilant sign. It rules, it's usually an upbeat energy. So it brings that feeling of being upbeat to your partnerships, and while it's transiting that house, the seventh house. And when Jupiter transits the ninth house, the eighth house, it's transiting the house of Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And Scorpio is a water sign. It's intuitive, so it's psychic and persevering. It's a fixed sign. It rules the house of death, sex, rebirth, transformation, secrets, sexuality. Did I already say that? Yeah. Now, Scorpio can be competitive and courageous and determined and forceful and introverted and magnetic and mysterious and powerful, probing. They can be possessive, obsessive, resourceful, secretive, strong-willed, fixated. jealous and suspicious. It was always the good with the bad. So, you know, all of those things that might come into play, and they might be expanded under while Jupiter comes there, or you might just decide to have higher education about death or sexuality or psychology, or because Pluto and Scorpio, that house rules psychology. It also rules secrets, and so you might, there might be some secrets that come to light, or well, it would expand your feelings toward all of the things that are in that house. So you're combining Scorpio traits with Sagittarius traits, and so long distance and foreign matters might affect your sex life or your obsessions or your psychological world, or you could have transformations that are affected by religion or theology, or philosophies may change. Your psychological world may be transformed. I mean, your philosophies may be transformed. Pluto's a transformative energy, so it brings it it rules inner power, your inner life, your inner psychological power and secrets, and it also rules the occult, and it rules death, and it rules money that comes to you from outside sources, money that comes to you from other people. So you might, that might expand while Jupiter is in there. You might have an expanded good fortune in money that comes to you from outside sources. And that could be inheritances, or it could be just gifts of money. It could be money that you earn through psychology, or through your philosophy, or through your religious ideas, or through foreign travel or long distance travel. Money could somehow come to you through any of those. And the traditional ruler of that house is Mars, and so that adds to the energetic, that Mars rules your self-image. So you might really be connected to your image might be connected to how you obtain money through outside sources, and it could have something to do with your with the occult or with psychology. It could be that you use the occult or psychology to obtain money somehow, or through your religious and philosophical side, or your higher mind. You could obtain money through outside sources. Brings good fortune. So, and the next house is the house of Sagittarius, which Jupiter rules, and so that's fire sign, and it's motivated, adaptable, house of the higher mind and long distance and foreign travel and connections and religion, and we've already talked about that. And so double the trouble, double the fun. It's a lot of expansion. You might gain a lot of weight, but while that transits that house, actually when I didn't say it, but when it transits the house that rules your body, which would be the sun, the house of the sun, which is Leo. I mean, it could, or even your Taurus house. It could expand your waistline, but Sagittarius is often overweight because it does expands the waistline, expands what it touches. But anyway, so you could, while Jupiter transits that house, you could have double the focus on religion or your philosophies or on higher education or maybe long distance travel or foreign affairs. You could have a lot more of that, or you could have a mentor at a long distance far away, um, or travel to a place where you really focus on philosophical and religious matters, and that would be expanded energy in that direction. And the next house is the house of Capricorn, and that's the 10th house of career, and it rules the father. It rules government and structures and political structures. It rules structure, uh, just structures of all kinds, restrictions, how things are put together, methods, methodical ways of doing things. It rules the career, so responsibilities and how you conduct your career. And usually it slows down the energy wherever it is. It slows it's a slower energy. It structures and focuses your energy where it is. Also, uh, Capricorns, which is what that house rules. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's practical and dynamic, and a cardinal sign, and it seeks money and power and status. So it's ambitious toward money, power, and status. So wherever Capricorn is in your chart, in that area of your life, you're going to feel that way, like or you could create a career in that house where Capricorn rules in your chart. And where Saturn goes, it takes that career energy. So you might make a career in wherever Saturn sits. So anyway, I got off track there. It's a pessimistic energy too. So having Jupiter come there, you might um, become more positive and more expand your higher thoughts about your career, or bring higher education to your career. And Saturn would structure it, but while Jupiter is there, you might focus more on being structured in your religious life or your long distance matters, or your travel. Travel might come to your career. You might have more travel and foreign communications for your career. You might have more long distance um, matters that involve your father or your responsibilities. might bring more philosophical and religious matters to your career somehow. Um, might travel for your career. Did I already say that? I think I said that. But anyway, Jupiter expands the more positive good fortune, so it could expand good fortune in your career or bring mentors into your career, someone that helps you out in your career. And the next house is the house of Aquarius, and Aquarius is an air sign. It's intellectual and persevering and a fixed sign, and it rules the house of society at large and friendships. So what Aquarius is, they're altruistic and friendly and humanitarian and inventive, individualistic, intellectual, logical, perceptive, rebellious, unique, unpredictable, visionary, can be erratic, can be eccentric, can be impersonal, and usually rebellious or revolutionary, and could be, they think out of the box. Uh, they're usually unusual, and usually an Aquarius wears unusual clothes. Someone with a lot of Aquarian energy in their chart usually wears unusual clothes or comes across unusual and maybe even odd, or uh, they can, uh, that house brings explosive, unusual energy. It rules sudden, unexpected things happening. So Jupiter would expand maybe your feelings toward the collective of a society. It might expand your revolutionary thoughts or your feelings toward individuality and how you want to affect. You might, it would expand your rebellious thoughts or your thoughts toward unique ideas and unconventional ideas and visionary thinking. So it's an ingenious, Uranus and Aquarius. It's an ingenious. It's where your point of genius is where Uranus usually sits. So it might be something that you come up with. Jupiter expands your thoughts. Um, you could be more philosophical in your outlook on revolution, or philosophical on your outlook on how you've been rebelling, or how to make a change or affect the collective of society. You might have a philosophical idea come to you while Jupiter transits that house, or a religious idea or a theological idea about how to affect society at large. Or it could be through big tech, because Uranus rules big tech and electricity, and it's an explosive energy. So Jupiter expands that. It brings all those feelings more. It would make you more Aquarian, more revolutionary, more rebellious, um, more inventive, and more unique, more eccentric, more unexpected things might happen. Unexpected experiences might be expanded by Jupiter coming there in that house. And oh, and I didn't say, and that could be some from some foreign connection or foreign communication, could be really unexpected or revolutionary that comes to you from that house also. And anyway, this one is Pisces house, and it's the 12th house, and it's a water sign. It's intuitive and adaptable and mutable, and rules the house of the unconscious and spirituality. And Pisces are artistic and charitable and creative and dedicated. They're dreamers. They're humble and imaginative and impressionable and idealistic, and can be introverted, mystical, peaceful, serious, spiritual, and timid. They can be escapist or indecisive and careless. Of course, you always have the bad with the good and the good with the bad in all of the signs. So uh, that house rules the unconscious and spirituality, and so uh, it also is the house of loss, and might bring confusion and illusions. It might um, bring you hospitalizations or isolation or incarcerations. I mean, it rules those things. It doesn't mean that it will necessarily make you have those things, but when something transits there, it affects those things. So Jupiter transiting there can affect, expand whatever, like it could expand your imagination. It could expand your feelings towards spirituality. It could expand your divine connection, your feeling of being connected to the divine. And it could bring long distance communications and foreign communications through your spiritual life somehow. It could bring really, since Sagittarius and that house rules, that 9th house rules a formal religion, and the 12th house of Pisces rules spirituality. You could have an extra focus on religion and spirituality, and maybe a more formal religion over your spirituality. But they combine, you can combine the energy of the two, and the traditional ruler of that house is Jupiter, and so you could have good fortune and abundance through some type of religious matter or spiritual matter, or it's an idealistic energy. So it's also without boundaries. Your imagination can be without boundaries, and that could expand your imagination. And it can also be escapism, so you want to be careful with, while things are expanding that house. It rules dreams. You might have more dreams. It's a dreamy sign. Pisces is a dreamy sign. It rules the house of dreams, and so you might expand mystical experiences while Jupiter is happening there, and your mind might go to faraway places because Jupiter rules long distance and foreign communication. So you might feel like your unconscious mind is far away. So hopefully you won't experience as losses. That is the house of loss, and yet Jupiter is the house of abundance and good fortune. So there's the combination of the two uh, can bring expansion in religious and spiritual life, or it could, unfortunately, on the other side, bring expansion to addictive behavior. So um, or isolation, and isolation can be good in that house if you want to isolate yourself to learn more about religion, or uh, uh, use some isolated time for spirituality or something. Anyway, I think that's it. So thanks for listening.